They told Margaret it was just normal aging. But when she stood in the kitchen one morning, holding a mug she didn't remember making, she knew something was off. That quiet moment sparked a change. What followed was a 7-minute routine that rewired her mornings and cleared her mind. In this video, you'll discover all 7 steps that helped women like Margaret feel sharper, calmer, and more focused, without pills or pressure. Let's begin with the first step. It starts before your feet even hit the floor. 1. The 60-second stillness, learning to listen again. The first time Margaret tried it, she didn't know what to expect. She set a timer for 60 seconds, sat upright in bed, and did nothing. No phone, no to-do list, no talking, just sat. At first she thought, what's the point of this? But by the 40-second mark, something shifted. She became aware of her breathing, the weight of the blanket on her lap, the faint chirp of a bird outside the window. Stillness didn't feel empty. It felt full. In a world that teaches us to fill every second with doing, being can feel radical. But for women over 70, stillness isn't laziness, it's recovery. Emotionally, it offers space to reconnect with yourself before the world rushes in. It's a pause that says, you matter first. And biologically, that moment of calm sends a message to your nervous system: safety. A regulated brain works better. Thoughts sort themselves. That fog you feel in the morning, it begins to lift the moment you stop rushing to fix it. Here's how you do it. Sit comfortably, bed, chair, wherever feels safe. Set a timer for 60 seconds. Close your eyes. Put your hands on your lap. Do absolutely nothing. If a thought comes, notice it, but don't chase it. You're not meditating, you're arriving. And for many women like Margaret, this became the quiet foundation of her mornings. Just one silent minute reminded her she still had agency over her own mind. 2. The name 5. Scan. The brain SEP's gentle warm-up. I used to walk into rooms and forget why I was there, Margaret admitted. So I started doing this little trick. I'd pick 5 things I could see, hear, or feel, and say them out loud. That was enough to pull me back. The name 5 Scan is a subtle but powerful brain primer. Think of it as your mind's version of stretching before a walk. It's not flashy, but it works. Why? Because it pulls your attention out of autopilot and back into the now. Here's how to try it tomorrow. Look around and name 5 things you can see. Out loud. If you're alone, now name 5 things you can hear. Even the soft ones. Finally, 5 things you can feel. Your hands on your legs, the breeze, your breath. This works on 2 levels. First, it rebuilds focus and presence, which are often frayed by age, stress, or overstimulation. But more than that, it's emotionally grounding. For many women, especially those who live alone or wake up feeling unanchored, this becomes a thread back to the body and moment. Margaret began doing it while brushing her teeth. It kept her steady, literally and mentally. She even shared it with her neighbor, Grace, who now swears it helps her remember her grocery list without writing it down. Why does it matter? Because clarity isn't just about memory. It's about connection to your space, your senses, yourself. 3. Finger taps plus number callout, waking up the wires. There's something oddly delightful about this one, like playing a game against yourself. And Margaret, who hadn't thought of her hands much lately, was shocked by how much her fingers didn't want to cooperate at first. Here's how it goes. Hold both hands up, palms down. One at a time, tap your fingers to your thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, and back. While you tap, count out loud. Try counting by 2s, then 3s, then backward from 20. It might seem simple, but don't be surprised if it tangles you up a little. That's the point. You're building neural speed and coordination, reconnecting your physical body to your mental rhythm. Why this matters emotionally. Hands carry memory, from baking bread to holding grandchildren. They've done everything for you. Engaging them in this way, deliberately, playfully, reminds you that they still have work to do. And more importantly, so does your brain. When Margaret first got it right, she laughed out loud. I felt like I'd won a spelling bee, she said. It became her little morning victory. And victories, no matter how small, build momentum. A study from the Journal of Aging and Health even found that hand coordination drills improved mental speed in seniors within 2 weeks. Imagine that 2 minutes a day, and your mind starts catching up with itself. Margaret didn't do all 3 tips perfectly at first. That wasn't the goal. She simply began. 1 action, 1 morning, 1 new memory. Now let me ask you, which of these 3 would you be willing to try tomorrow morning? Share your thoughts in the comments. You never know who you'll inspire just by starting. 4. Memory map, the backward glance that moves you forward. Margaret used to feel embarrassed when she'd walk into the pantry and forget what she needed. It's silly, she'd say to herself. I just looked at the list. But it wasn't silly, it was frustrating. It made her feel like her brain was slowly slipping away. Then she tried something new. Not a trick, not a test, just a gentle daily habit that trained her memory to stay present. The memory map. Here's how it works. Before you get out of bed, or while enjoying your first cup of tea, spend 2 minutes quietly replaying the previous day in reverse. Start with the moment you went to bed, then what you did before that, dinner, the phone call with your daughter, folding towels. Keep moving backward bit by bit until you reach the start of your day. It might feel strange at first, but don't rush it, just let the memory surface. Why does this matter? Because memory isn't just data, it's identity. It's how we carry who we are from one day to the next. And when women like Margaret begin practicing this, something subtle happens. They stop feeling like life is slipping past them. Instead, they become more rooted, more aware. One study from Harvard even found that mental time travel, remembering things out of order, strengthens recall better than rote memory games. And for Margaret, it helped her reconnect with her day in a way she hadn't in years. I started noticing little joys again, she told me. What the sky looked like at 4 p.m., how the soup tasted. I felt more in my life. 5. Word weave. Training the brain to pivot, play, and prioritize. Margaret first laughed when she tried this one. It sounded like a game her granddaughter might play at school. But don't be fooled. This little challenge pulls your mind into high gear within seconds. Here's how you do it. Say 1 color, 1 flower, and 1 number, out loud. Example, green, tulip, 11. The next day, change it. New combo, blue, rose, 5. Try speeding up, then slowing down, then imagining the 3 things vividly in your mind. This sounds lighthearted, and it is, but neurologically it's a brain reset. You're asking your mind to hold 3 unrelated pieces of information, process them and release them. That builds cognitive flexibility, your brain's ability to shift gears. And here's the thing, aging doesn't make us slow, stagnation does. Word weave is playful, but it's powerful. Emotionally, this tip matters for a deeper reason. It reminds us that we still have wit, that quick-tongued part of us that once juggled recipes, birthdays, and book club schedules. She's still there, she just needs a little spark to shine again. Margaret noticed she started picking up conversations faster. She didn't lose her words as often. She even began making little jokes again, because her mind felt faster, and that's the heart of it. When your brain feels like it's dancing again, so do you. 6. Balance and blink. The ground beneath the mind. Margaret had never thought of blinking as a skill until she nearly toppled over one day while putting on her socks. That was the moment she realized balance wasn't just about legs, it was about attention, stability, mindfulness. So she began a short practice called Balance and Blink. Here's how it goes. Stand near a wall or chair, just in case. Lift 1 foot slightly off the ground. As you balance, blink slowly. Inhale as you open your eyes. Exhale as you blink closed. Try for 10 slow blinks, then switch feet. It's quiet, subtle, but wildly effective. You're teaching your brain and body to stabilize together, and that synchronization, according to geriatric neurologists, helps improve vestibular awareness, your brain's internal compass for movement. But emotionally, This tip offers something more confidence. Balance is personal. Losing it, even a little, can make a woman feel vulnerable, like the ground could shift beneath her at any moment. This small routine gives that power back. It says, you are steady, you are present, you can trust your footing again. Margaret began doing it before brushing her teeth. It became her way of checking in with herself, and after a week, she noticed fewer wobbles, clearer thinking, and more trust in her own body. These 3 steps, memory map, word weave, and balance and blink, aren't just exercises, they're invitations. Invitations to return to yourself, to your senses, to the life you're still fully living. You don't need perfection, you just need presence. So here's your gentle question to close this part. Which of these feels like a moment of peace for you? Is it the quiet memory of yesterday, the joy of words dancing, the steady calm of your own breath? Share your thoughts in the comments below. You might just help someone else take their first step toward clarity. 7. The brain-body reset. A breath, a stretch, a restart. Some mornings feel like a fogged-up mirror, blurry, heavy, hard to clear. That was Margaret's mood last Tuesday. She'd done everything right, stillness, tapping, memory, balance, but something in her chest still felt stuck. So she turned to the final step of her 7-minute routine, the brain-body reset, a quiet ritual she had almost forgotten. Here's how it works. Sit comfortably, feet flat on the floor, gently twist your torso to the left, holding the arm of your chair or resting your hand on your thigh. Inhale slowly as you twist. Hold for 3 counts. Exhale as you come back to center. Repeat on the right. Finish by rolling your shoulders up and back while repeating the mantra, clear and calm. Now this isn't just a stretch. It's a signal. You're telling your nervous system that the day begins on your terms. The twist activates the spine, the breath resets the vagus nerve, and the mantra draws your focus to clarity. Margaret started doing this with her eyes closed, and that changed everything. With each twist, she didn't just stretch. She let go of worry, of self-doubt, of the mental clutter that can sneak in even before breakfast. Here's why this matters for women in our age group. Your body remembers more than your mind sometimes allows. This reset brings the two back into harmony. It grounds you. It softens the tension that creeps in with the noise of the world. As Margaret said, I stopped starting my day with stress. I started with space. 8. Morning word links. Rebuilding connection through language. I forgot the word for colander, Margaret whispered once, her eyes wide. I could see it, I could describe it, but the word just vanished. That moment scared her more than any ache or pain ever had. Because words aren't just words, they're how we connect. Enter the morning word links practice. A gentle brain-boosting habit to pull language back to the surface in a playful, non-judgmental way. Here's how it works. Choose any object around you. Lamp, spoon, cardigan. Say it out loud, then say the first word it reminds you of. Keep going. Make a chain of 5 words. Example: spoon, soup, cold blanket, sleep. It might seem silly, but you're building cognitive bridges, reawakening associative memory. And the beauty? There are no wrong answers. It's not a test, it's a trail. Why this matters emotionally. Losing words can feel like losing pieces of ourselves. This exercise gently says, they're not gone, just waiting. It gives you space to recall without shame. Margaret started leaving sticky notes on her fridge with her word chains, little mind journeys that made her feel capable again, and sometimes, they made her laugh. Cardigan, grandma mints, purse, buttons. It turned memory into play. Linguists have found that word association strengthens neural flexibility and retrieval. But beyond science, this tip is about feeling like yourself again, because when your words return, so does your voice. 9. The Mirror Affirmation. Reclaiming trust in your own mind. Let's be honest. How often do you truly look at yourself in the mirror? Not just check your hair or adjust your collar, but look, Margaret couldn't remember the last time she had. Not really, until one morning she paused. Her reflection stared back, softer now, wiser, and tired. That's when she began the Mirror Affirmation. It's simple, but powerful. Stand or sit in front of a mirror. Look into your own eyes. Say, I am clear, I am steady, I am still learning. Repeat it twice, out loud. Now you might be tempted to roll your eyes. Margaret did. Felt like a commercial at first, she joked, but then something changed. After a week, she began to believe it. That quiet declaration each morning became her anchor. This isn't just a feel-good ritual. It's a neurological rewrite. Speaking affirmations, while looking at your reflection has been shown to activate brain areas tied to self-perception and emotional regulation. In plain words, you stop talking down to yourself and start talking with yourself. Why it matters. As women, we've spent decades giving to others, raising voices, mending hearts, holding families together, but at some point, we forget how to encourage ourselves. The mirror affirmation is your moment to return to yourself, with kindness, without apology. Margaret said it best. I don't need the world to tell me I'm capable anymore. I tell myself. These final steps complete Margaret's journey, not toward perfection, but toward peace. A peace that starts before coffee, before news, before anything else. It's not a morning routine, it's a morning return. So let me ask you this. If you could say one kind thing to yourself tomorrow morning, what would it be? Drop it in the comments. And maybe, just maybe, try saying it to the woman in the mirror. 10. The eyes closed reach, training focus through touch. Margaret never realized how much she depended on her vision until her reading glasses went missing. I can't even slice a peach without them, she muttered, half laughing, half defeated. But what if, just for a moment, she didn't rely on her eyes? That's when she began her eyes closed reach. Each morning, she'd sit at the table, place 3 everyday items in front of her, like a comb, a spoon, and a coin. She'd close her eyes and slowly reach for one at a time, naming each aloud when she touched it. No peeking, no pressure, just curiosity and calm. Here's what it does. It stimulates sensory memory and builds tactile attention, especially helpful when eyesight becomes inconsistent. But emotionally, it's about trust, trusting that you can still navigate, even when clarity is momentarily out of reach. For women like Margaret, it's a lesson in self-reliance, in quiet bravery. She told me, it's not about finding the coin, it's about not giving up until I do. Behavioral researchers say that cross-training senses strengthens overall focus, and this small action reinforces your connection to space, shape, and response, all vital for staying sharp as we age. So tomorrow, lay out 3 familiar objects. Let your hands remind you of what they still know. 11. Memory meets movement. Recalling as you walk. Movement has rhythm, so does memory. And Margaret found that when she brought the two together, something magical happened. Her version of memory meets movement began with a hallway walk. As she took each step, she named a favorite meal from her childhood: meatloaf, apple pie, cabbage rolls, each dish, one step. The next day, songs she loved: Moon River, Unchained Melody, Autumn Leaves. This practice works because memory thrives in motion. It's called dual encoding. When we pair physical movement with mental recall, the brain strengthens both. But beyond the science, this ritual helped Margaret reconnect with joy. My body felt lighter when I remembered those songs, she said. I've forgotten how many things I still carry. Want to try it? Choose a category: flowers, books, recipes. As you walk, say one item per step. No need to rush. Let the memories bloom. This matters more than you might think, because sometimes, aging makes the world feel smaller, but memory, especially meaningful memory, reclaims space. It lets us roam again. And Margaret, she now walks every morning, humming tunes she'd long forgotten, and her steps, they're steadier, her heart, fuller. 12. Left-hand letters, unlocking new brain paths. It started as a joke. Margaret tried writing her name with her left hand and burst out laughing at the wobbly result. Looks like a toddler wrote it. But she kept doing it. Day after day, this became her left-hand letters ritual. And as the days went by, her shaky letters grew smoother. Her concentration deepened, and something else happened. Her mind felt awakened. Using your non-dominant hand forces the brain to work harder. You activate new neural connections, especially across hemispheres, which are essential for executive functioning and memory recall. But for Margaret, this wasn't about science. It was about possibility. It reminded me I can still learn, she said. I'm not done growing. Here's how to do it. Choose a simple phrase like, "Today is a gift." Write it slowly with your non-dominant hand. Focus not on perfection but on patience. It's humbling at first, but empowering. And emotionally, it's a reminder that aging doesn't close doors. It opens different ones. Margaret even framed her first attempt, "So I never forget," she smiled, "what I'm still capable of." These 3 steps, eyes closed reach, memory meets movement, and left-hand letters, offer something deeper than clarity. They offer agency, the power to wake up, try something unfamiliar, and find strength in the attempt. So here's your reflection for today. What's something small you once gave up on, that you might be ready to try again? Write it in the comments, and let's celebrate every single comeback together. 13. Scent recall. Triggering memory through aroma. Margaret always kept a small bottle of lavender oil in her bedside drawer. She didn't use it often, just occasionally when sleep wouldn't come. But one morning as she sat by her window, she opened the cap and let the scent fill her nose. Suddenly she was 12 again, in her grandmother's garden, brushing her fingers through blossoms that made the air feel soft. That memory arrived uninvited, vivid, complete. It made her smile, tear up, and breathe deeper. That's when she began using scent recall as part of her morning clarity practice. Here's the simple ritual. Keep a small scent nearby: lavender, citrus peel, cinnamon, or even an old perfume. Inhale deeply, then pause. Let your mind wander. Where does this take you? Recall one full sensory memory: what you wore, who was there, what it felt like, why this works. The olfactory system is directly wired to the brain's limbic area, where emotion and memory are stored. More than any other sense, smell awakens deep, emotional recall, and emotionally, it brings something priceless: belonging. When women reconnect to powerful sensory memories, they're reminded that their stories still live within them. Margaret now starts her morning with 2 drops of lavender on a tissue, and one question: what do I want to remember today? 14. The gratitude circle. Rebuilding inner calm with connection. Every Tuesday, Margaret meets 2 old friends for tea. They laugh, gossip, and trade garden tips. But recently she added something new: a gratitude circle. It started small, each woman naming just one thing they were thankful for that morning. My hands felt steady. The sky looked bluer. I found my favorite socks. That was it. Nothing big, but over time something shifted. The gratitude circle became a ritual, an anchor. If you'd like to try it, here's how: choose a time after breakfast, during tea, even over a phone call. Name one thing you're thankful for, big or small. Do it daily, or weekly, with a friend or just yourself. Here's the heart of it. Gratitude isn't about ignoring hardship, it's about noticing what's still working. And for women navigating the complexity of aging, this practice brings gentle peace. It shifts the focus from what I've lost to what I still have. Studies have shown that older adults who practice daily gratitude experience improved mental clarity, reduced stress, and better sleep. But Margaret, she doesn't need a study. She has her Tuesday table, 3 mugs of tea, and the steady truth that joy doesn't vanish, it just changes shape. And that morning calm, it lasts longer now. 15. The Fischchen, the Windset practice, reclaiming everyday victories. We often don't notice our own progress, especially when it's quiet. Margaret used to end her day replaying what she didn't do. I forgot the milk. I didn't call Jim back. I didn't finish that article. It left her mind feeling cluttered and defeated. Then her son, a therapist, gave her one simple task each morning before breakfast: name one small thing you did well the day before, one win. So she tried it, made the bed, got dressed before 9, Didn't lose my keys. Did my brain taps. Some days she reached, but over time it got easier, and soon she felt her mood shift. The Name the Win practice is easy, personal, and powerful. Here's how to begin. Sit with your tea or coffee. Think back to yesterday. Name one success, no matter how tiny. Why this matters. Aging can make you feel like achievements are behind you, but the truth, you're still winning, just differently. And when you claim those wins, your mind recognizes progress, not decline. Margaret even wrote hers down in a tiny notebook. It's my proof, she grinned, that I'm still showing up. So tomorrow, before anything else, name your win. Let that be your first affirmation of the day. These final 3 rituals, scent recall, gratitude circle, and name the win, aren't about sharpening your brain for the world. They're about doing it for yourself, to reclaim your presence, your peace, your power. So here's a question to close. What's one small joy you want to notice more often? Write it in the comments, and let's make space for all the quiet victories that shape a beautiful life. Who knew 7 minutes could make your brain feel like it just did a morning jog in silk slippers? If Margaret can do it with a lavender tissue and a shaky left hand, so can you. Drop your favorite tip below. Let's turn brain fog into brain fireworks, one tiny win at a time.